You know, there are a lot of things in life that you think you want to do, and then when you do it, you say, oh, well, okay, is that all there is? And it wasn't that big a deal. But when I soloed, there was a spark that was lit in me, and it was something that it was everything I thought it would be. My name is Dick McSpadden. I am a private pilot with an instrument rating, and I own a Navion aircraft that was built in 1950, and I have owned it for 30 years. And I have acquired over 6,000 hours as pilot in command. I soloed in 1979 and got my pilot's license in 1979 at the age of 40 years old. I will be 75 on July the 7th, so I've been flying for 36 years, I guess that would make it. I had plans to be a Marine Corps pilot. Actually, when I was in junior college in Mississippi, I had signed up for what was called a platoon leaders course, and I never got to fulfill my dream of becoming a Marine Corps pilot. When our first child was born, my wife and I, it was time for Dick McSpadden to get out and go to work, and that's what I did. The way the pilot thing came about was I never lost the dream, never lost the desire for it. Just before my 40th birthday, the family got together and gave me a Father's Day present. They had gone out to a small airport in Greensboro, North Carolina, a place called Air Harbor, and they had paid so that I could solo an airplane, because I figured that when I soloed, I could call myself a pilot. I've landed in every contiguous state in the United States with the exception of Delaware. However, I have made a landing myself in Alaska, and I landed in Hawaii. Both my sons are pilots, and they made their living doing that. My son Richard became an F-15 pilot, and later his final job with the Air Force, he was the commander of the Thunderbirds. He attributes his aviation success and his success in the Air Force with the fact that he was able to fly this airplane prior to going into the military. My grandson, Grant McSpadden, who's Richard's son, is now 14 years old. He, of course, can't solo until he's 16 years old, but he'll be a third generation McSpadden who will be flying airplanes. Another thing I've always been very interested in and always loved to do is ride motorcycles. And in my case, I have ridden antique motorcycles and restored some classic motorcycles. I've never owned a Harley Davidson. The motorcycles that I had an interest in were the old British motorcycles. I currently own two BSAs. Both my sons own BSAs. They were built in 1969 and two of them were built in 1963. And then I have a couple of newer Triumphs now that I ride. Most everything I got's pretty old. My automobile that I used to drive to the airport to fly my 1950 Navion is a 1956 Chevrolet. I've had it for 17 years now and enjoy driving it a lot. Well, at Franklin County Airport, when I got here, I got very interested in the fact that the airport looked pretty run down, and some of us guys got busy, 5 or 6 of us that were on the airport, and some other people too were interested in making the airport a better facility. We felt it would be good for the community, and we take members of the Chamber of Commerce and leaders in the community. We take them up for airplane rides to give them a sense of what the area looks like from the air, and also we try to explain to them the worth of the airport, and it does mean a lot to the economic future of the community. Part of the thing I do, I keep the records on the fuel and how much we buy and when we buy it and when we need to get fuel. I'm just as thrilled today after almost a little over 6,000 hours of flying as I was the first time I flew.